Today, we're going to unravel the story of a discovery that literally changed how we see the world, and even ourselves. All right, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's 1895, and our story kicks off on a dark November evening right here, in this laboratory in Würzburg, Germany. So there's this scientist, Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, and he's in his lab messing around with a cathode ray tube, and he's got the whole thing completely covered up in thick black cardboard, so no light can get in or out. But then, he spots something that just shouldn't be happening. Across the completely dark room, a small screen, one coated with barium platinocyanide, starts to glow. Just faintly, but it's glowing. And there's absolutely no reason for it. Now, this is where it gets really wild. Remember, the tube is totally covered, so it can't be regular light, right? And it wasn't the cathode rays he was actually studying. Those things just don't travel that far in the air. So what was it? He was looking at something completely new. Röntgen knew right away that he'd stumbled onto something huge. So for the next few weeks, he basically becomes a detective. He eats, sleeps, and breathes this experiment, obsessively investigating these new, mysterious rays. And since he had no idea what they were, he just called them X-rays. X for the unknown. So what does he do? He starts testing everything. Just like a detective, he's checking off a list. Can they go through a thick 1,000-page book? Yup. How about wood? You bet. Even thin sheets of aluminum. But then he tries lead, and nope, they're stopped cold. It seems like denser materials block them. And this is where you can really see the power of what he's found. Look at this. He puts a set of metal weights inside a wooden box, a closed box, and then takes a picture with these new rays. And bam, for the very first time, he's seen the inside of a solid object without ever having to open it. It's like having superpowers. This all leads to what is probably the most famous moment in the whole story. It's December 22nd, and he asks his wife, Anna Bertha, for a favor. He says, "Can you please put your hand here in the path of these rays?" And he puts a photographic plate right behind it. And what comes out is just mind-blowing. This single image, you can see her bones, clear as day, and even her wedding ring. This picture, right here, instantly shows the incredible potential for medicine. Think about it. For the first time in human history, someone could see the bones inside their own living body. So, after weeks of working pretty much in secret, locking himself in his lab, Röntgen knew it was time. He was ready to share his incredible findings with the world. And when he did, wow, the news spread like wildfire. I mean, look at this timeline. He submits his paper on December 28th. Less than 10 days later, a Vienna newspaper has the story. 3 days after that, it's already in America. The entire world, scientists and regular folks alike, were just absolutely electrified. You had newspapers everywhere, just like this one, with these huge headlines calling it a sensational discovery, a marvelous triumph of science. I mean, can you imagine? The ability to see inside your own body? It sounds like something from a Jules Verne novel, but suddenly, it was real. Now, Röntgen himself was a pretty quiet, reserved guy. He only gave one public lecture about the whole thing, and during that talk, he did a live demonstration. He X-rayed the hand of a really famous anatomist in the audience, a guy named Albert von Kolliger. And Kolliger was so blown away, he stood up and proposed that they shouldn't be called X-rays, they should be called Röntgen rays, and apparently the place went wild. Okay, so the discovery is a global sensation, but what about the man who started it all? Well, he was described by everyone as modest, kind of an introvert, and his path to success wasn't exactly easy. Get this, he was actually expelled from high school over a prank that he didn't even do. But he stuck with it, and through sheer hard work, he rose up to become a super respected physicist and even the head of his university. And that tells you a lot about his character, this core belief he had. I mean, companies were coming at him, offering him a fortune to patent his discovery. But he said no. He refused to patent it because he believed it should be free for everyone, for the good of all humanity. It's easy to look at this and say he just got lucky, but it wasn't just blind luck. It was a perfect example of what we call serendipity. That's when a happy accident happens to someone who is actually prepared to see it. He was curious, he was meticulous, so when he saw that weird glow, he had the genius to ask why instead of just ignoring it. And the impact of that one moment, that one question, it was immediate, and it was absolutely profound. For all this incredible work, in 1901, Röntgen was awarded the very first Nobel Prize in Physics. I mean, what an honor. The ultimate recognition for a discovery that basically created a whole new branch of science. And this just says everything about the kind of person he was. That prize came with a pretty hefty chunk of money. So what do you think this modest, unassuming man did with it all? He gave every last bit of it to his university. It was never about the fame or the fortune for him. It was always about pushing science forward, about the advancement of knowledge. And that advancement happened fast. I mean, within months, not years, months, doctors were already using x-rays to find broken bones and locate bullets in soldiers without having to cut them open. This was the birth of the entire field of radiology, which is now a cornerstone of medicine. Think about it. From the dentist to the ER, his discovery is used millions of times every single day and has completely changed how we diagnose and treat the human body. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Röntgen's discovery was part accident, part genius. It kind of begs the question, how many other world-changing breakthroughs are out there, right now, just waiting for someone to notice them, waiting just beyond what we can see? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.